There's just not enough to go around, at which point it becomes the thing that stands between you and actual chaos. Are they not?
Once respected school, parents across the country should be shocked and horrified to see there's a conservative legal foundation.
Suit was filed, they say, on behalf of 11 courageous parents like yourself. It also targets policies that compel student speech for
school system systematically destroyed.
Young children to use bathrooms and locker rooms with members of the opposite sex. It also keeps parents in the dark when their children lead a double life as a different gender during school hours.
Talk to you first because you, working with Donald Trump, had done yeoman's work in
accuse the district of moral corruption of children.
You
suing the public school system on behalf of a group of parents, all because the district believes
you
trust is all hatred. That's exactly right. Trust is all you have. If there is generations. Yes, this is a very crucial point. What keeps us from riots and looting and from madness? It's
actually securing and locking down the border.
Trust. It's the ability to know that the people that you are living in the community with will take care of each other and protect each other.
Has more of a right than parents.
Attack and we lose our power, we lose our water, we lose our infrastructure, we lose our electricity.
Actually securing and locking down the border.
Yes, this is a very crucial point. And uncontrolled migration makes us a nation of strangers. So again, I don't care where you're born. No matter where you're from, if you're living here today, it's in your interest to turn off the spigot tomorrow.
I think that's a really smart point. And
yes, this is a very crucial point.
And it's deliberate, quote, almost gleeful violations of parental rights.
The current crisis, the calamity playing out on our border is the result of 2020. President Trump had in place. And uncontrolled migration makes us a nation of strangers. So a brilliant series of domestic reforms and interlocking international agreements. Again, I don't care where you're born. No matter where you're from, if you're living here today, it's in your interest that allowed us to deport any illegal alien from any country at any time for any reason with a planned, purposeful, and premeditated crusade.
To tell a captive audience of students what they must believe.
Turn off the spigot tomorrow, hour after hour, day after day, whatsoever, without delay. That included remain in Mexico, safe third agreements, asylum bars, Title 42 as just a few examples of what President Trump had ingeniously put into place.
Board meetings erupting in screaming matches and, in some cases, even the arrests of parents.
Yes, this is a very crucial point.
Now,
it's my decision. I'm the parent. I raise them, and they will become the adult I want them to be, not you.
Yes, this is a very crucial point.
Thank you, gentlemen, for both of you.
As a mother, I don't want anybody telling me what my kids should learn in school. That
carried out by the Biden administration.
They accuse America First Legal and General Counsel for as its woke curriculum.
It was moving in the right direction. It was more safe. To undo everything that you've done so far, Biden comes in, and behind the scenes, he brought in Obama's former regulatory czar, a guy moving in the right direction. It was more safe. But named Cass Sunstein.
A tumultuous year in Loudoun County, Virginia.
Try to force New York City is more than one-third puberty blockers. San Francisco's more than one-third foreign-born.
He's the one
in 4 kids. This is
whose government
amazing. In the whole
raided
country,
the home of his chief political
has a foreign-born parent
in a fashion that violates the entire constitutional order
to
because President Trump has
and more and more and more
right to decide what is or isn't in the national security interest
when he leaves the White House. Trust. There cannot be civic bonding. There cannot be a shared culture, a shared language, a shared education. And uncontrolled migration makes us a nation of strangers. So again, I don't care where you're born. No matter where you're from, if you're living here today, it's in your interest to turn off the spigot tomorrow.
And the Department of Justice is trying to untangle the prohibitions and the lockdown of what you actually accomplished in the Trump administration.
I think that's a really smart point. And you're seeing a lot of people, immigrants even, arriving in that same...
Our hospital system crashing, uncompensated care soaring through the roof. That means higher premiums for you and for your family. Our police departments are completely overwhelmed by the influx. And of course, the drugs that are coming across as a result of this and the drug dealers and drug traffickers that are entering our communities unimpeded are slaughtering our citizens by the tens of thousands.
Immigrants even arriving in that same conclusion.
Exactly.
Right.
Wow. Parents going after the school district over mask and vaccine mandates.
It's in your interest to turn off the spigot tomorrow.
So, Stephen, millions of people are coming across the border. Where are they all going to go? Where are they all?
Give me a brick. We're going to read
trafficking.
The eyes
during that same time,
while he engages
now since
in
1965. And for your family, our police departments are completely overwhelmed by the influx. And of course, the drugs that are coming across as a result of this and the drug dealers and drug traffickers that are entering our communities unimpeded are slaughtering our citizens by the tens of thousands.
Immigrants even arriving in that same conclusion.
Exactly.
Right.
Wow. Parents going after the school district over mask and vaccine mandates.
It's in your interest to turn off the spigot tomorrow.
So, Stephen, millions of people are coming across the border. Where are they all going to go? Where are they all?
think that's a really smart point. And you're seeing a lot of people
Not going to live.
Well, we know it's the ability to know that the people that you are living in the community with will take care of each other and protect each other. And uncontrolled migration makes us a nation of strangers. So again, this speech is I don't care where you're born, no matter where you're from. Literally true. If you're living here today, it's in your interest to turn off the spigot tomorrow.
Of course.
During the period
President
of time
Trump
when the great
poured out
American middle
Where are they all going to go? Where are they all going to live?
No matter where you're from, if you're living here today, I don't care where you're born, it's in your interest to turn off the spigot tomorrow.
It's been recognized for well over a century. It's just one of these things everybody knows, everybody understands. It's been recognized in the Constitution. It's been recognized in statute. Separately,
immigrants, and you're seeing a lot of people.
Trust is
If
all
it is
you
not
have. If
repaired
there's
for generations
an
to
attack
come.
and we lose our...
I think that's a really smart point.
Yeah, we are very tired of.
Arriving in that same conclusion.
Knowing if their child's expressing a different gender. So, you
know from the very secret flights that this network has exposed.
The lawsuit is suing for this district's systemic and egregious moral corruption of children and its deliberate and almost gleeful violations of parental rights, as I said earlier. Parental rights, that's what this is all about. Parents have the right to make decisions for their children. And quite frankly, I don't think a lot of us parents actually knew what their teachers were teaching them until the pandemic, which was so unfortunate. But at the same time, my kids are on Zoom calls, and I'm actually listening, and I cannot believe what they're being taught and not taught. You know, go back to the classic days of teaching books and studies about history rather than erasing it, and stick to the facts, stick to history. Forget this modern day woke crap.
Yeah, you know, thank you for having me on. I'm
So it's hilarious if you think about the amount of energy they spent shouting at anyone
when the board was elected saw this coming, and the insidiousness of the equity agenda and how it's actually played out. You know, it really impacted us and hit us in the face on day one of this past school year when my two girls in high school were actually asked in public to declare what their pronouns are. And we just said, no, that's not going to happen. So we contacted the principal right away, and they admitted that it was a violation of their own policy. And even now we found out in Regulation 8040 that parents are now being shut out from knowing if their child is expressing a different gender. So, you know, the plaintiffs that I represent, I'm here with about 10 other plaintiffs who are just standing up and saying enough is enough. And there's actually thousands and thousands of other parents and teachers and stakeholders here in Loudoun County, concerned citizens who are just saying enough. You know, basically saying, hand me a brick. We're going to rebuild the wall so that we can, you know, rebuild the wall that miseducation of our kids is torn down. And bad actors have been let in our schools and parents have been shut out.
Yeah, I have a best friend here who has a daughter, 11 years old in New York City. She came home one day and actually told her mother that she thinks she's pansexual. Okay? The reason why she thinks she's pansexual is because all these kids at school were discussing whether you like boys or girls, and she's like, I don't really like either. I mean, I like everybody, but you're 11. You don't know what you shouldn't even be talking about sex when you're 11, but this is the stuff that's actually being inputted into children's minds. Gene, it is so disturbing on so many levels.
As a foreign-born parent,
in a fashion that violates the entire constitutional order, because President Trump has the absolute right to decide what is or isn't in the national security interest when he leaves the White House.
Trust.
All
there cannot
of
be
those things.
civic
All of
bonding.
them.
There cannot be.
I think that's a really smart point. And you're seeing a lot of people.
Not going to live.
Well, we know it's the ability to know that the people that you are living in the community with will take care of each other and protect each other. And uncontrolled migration makes us a nation of strangers. So again, this speech is I don't care where you're born, no matter where you're from. Literally true. If you're living here today, it's in your interest to turn off the spigot tomorrow.
Of course.
During the period
President
of time
Trump
when the great
poured out
American middle
Where are they all going to go? Where are they all going to live?
No matter where you're from, if you're living here today, I don't care where you're born, it's in your interest to turn off the spigot tomorrow.
it's been recognized for well over a century. It's just one of these things everybody knows, everybody understands. It's been recognized in the Constitution. It's been recognized in statute. Separately,
immigrants, and you're seeing a lot of people.
Trust is
If
all
it is
you
not
have. If
repaired
there's
for generations
an
to
attack
come.
and we lose our...
I think that's a really smart point.
Yeah, we are very tired of.
of the equation.
Disgusted.
And we will provide free legal representation.
Kids' gender. I am disgusted by your bigotry.
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you!
Because of their We are launching a new initiative in my legal foundation known as the Center for Legal Equality. And we will provide free legal representation to any client we take who has been denied a job, a promotion, a benefit because of their skin color. Companies, particularly the largest companies in this country, have embedded systemic racism into their operation. As one example, Morgan Stanley has an internship for college students that explicitly says this is the path, this is the ladder to get you a career in finance. One catch though, you can't be white, you can't be Asian, and it might also help if you're LGBTQ+. Companies across America have identical policies to these. They are illegal. They are immoral. They are racist. They are bigoted. They're poison that hurts everyone on every side of the equation. And the only way to stop them is in federal court. So we're creating a hotline. You can go to it at aflegal.org/hotline. That's aflegal.org/hotline. And tell us what happened to you or your friend. Our attorneys will reach out. And again, any client we take, we will fight these woke corporations 100% for free. You will never pay a dime.
Major corporations in this country, the big ones, Shell, Morgan Stanley, Apple, all of them, basically, have decided to implement hiring practices based on. So there's one of the country's these are not only violations of teachers, it's ideally former morning Jew girl from AM radio in Yakima, Washington, that he's offended by the idea of enforcing the law because laws are racist. So, but they're only racist when they apply to foreigners who are in support of the left program. So waiting under the bridge in Del Rio tonight is the Democratic Party's future electoral majority way to fight back. So that's what they're really doing, and that's why they're protected for doing this. I don't know why no one else is. But how about you? You're an American. You were born here. You remember a free and egalitarian America, a country where the same laws applied to everyone, no matter what color they were.
A tumultuous year in Loudoun County, Virginia. Wow. Parents going after
this is their true nature.
What many Americans may not realize is that
really and you're seeing a lot of people, very hard to immigrants even, arriving in that same conclusion.
Exactly.
He's the founder of America. Stephen Miller, great to see you tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Does not support it.
behavior of a tyrant, shared language, and this shared education. This shared is the moment
anyone else
pathway to success. He ceased to be a man who can even pretend to even claim that he has the interest of this country at heart, and he is truly and irrevocably committed to splitting this country into
the thing that's
beginning an era of division.
Are they not thinking
radical hatred of lawsuits?
That's
exactly to perpetuate all these repairs for generations. And we lose our power, we lose our water, we lose our infrastructure, we lose our electricity. Create breast milk. I won't say any more than that. But I mean, this is absolute madness. And on a serious note, I want to say that for parents whose children have milk allergies and other food allergies, I mean, this is sheer terror that they're living through. Where the one formula that worked for their kid that they finally found, that will finally let them sleep at night, not cry at night, be happy and flourish, that they cannot get this formula. And the response from Jen Psaki was, oh, well, if you're out of formula, just call your doctor. Well, here's the thing. I love my pediatrician, but I can safely say, if I called my pediatrician and said, hey, do you have a couple of weeks of formula we can borrow? They would hang up on me, and I would probably not be invited back again.
Oh, but they have a website, Miller. They said everybody needs to go to the government website to find out where the formula is. But I get it. I have a newborn, too. He's just over 1. And we tried a bunch of different formulas. He didn't like one, he didn't like the other, and we finally found one that stuck. And it's not an easy process. Yes. Now, are you actually feeding your own babies, or do you have nannies that do that for you, or you just make your wife do it?
I fed my baby just a couple hours before I came here, although I give my wife all the credit. But we went through the same thing you're describing.
Yeah.
Where, you know, we worked and we tried every different thing.
Yeah, they're picky. And I think my baby's a snob. He's a food snob. He only likes a certain formula.
But it was a process.
Right. It took a while, and it took a lot of money.
If I couldn't get the formula that my baby needed, I would be in an emotional melt.
Stephen Miller, founder of America First Legal and former senior advisor to the president. Could you imagine if there was a baby formula shortage under Donald Trump? Could you even imagine the hysteria?
Steve Miller, you know, Jonathan Turley, I think, summed it up.
So you've heard a lot about systemic racism, and some of us have laughed on it, but actually, if you take 3 steps back, it's completely real.
A lot of thoughts on this subject, Jesse, because I am the proud dad of 2 babies at home. I've got a 1-year-old, I've got a newborn. I can say on behalf of all of America's moms and dads that this crisis alone justifies Joe Biden's impeachment. This is
to the school district over mask and vaccine.
This is truly beyond belief. We live in a country right now. Think about this. Joe Biden's America.
On your program, Tucker.
We have puberty blockers for school children, but we don't have baby formula.
Who are we to decide this issue? What about you? Belongs with American voters in each and every state. And I will also just second that this ruling underscores why President Trump's bond with the faith and values voters in this country is unbreakable and unshakable. But again, I really want to go back to your point, Sean, because it's so important. Roe v. Wade 50 years ago took an issue away from the democratic process and said, we, the Supreme Court, will decide abortion law for everyone. Today, the Supreme Court said, no, the American people, the American voter, the American representatives, you decide abortion rules. And the overwhelming majority of Americans believe that they, not judges, should decide abortion laws in this country. And that's what today is all about.
And we tried a bunch of different formulas.
I suspect it's fear more than anything else. People are afraid of coming out and saying, no, you cannot discriminate against somebody because they're Asian, or because they're white, or because they're Jewish, or because they're straight, or because they're Christian. Of course you can't. It's absolutely illegal and unconstitutional, and I'll see you in court. So I'm saying it. Tonight on your program, aflegal.org/hotline. Tell us your story. Help us fight back for you.
Are you allowed this latitude? Amazing. Stephen Miller, thanks so much for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you.
Thank you so much.
That's right. That's right. Impeach 46 over the formula. Thank you very much, Stephen Miller.
Keep your nose clean, Mr. American.
Many moms and dads are all. We don't want to see Stephen Miller emotionally melting down. So I think for the sake of the country, so Miller doesn't melt down, get the formula out there, Joe. We can't afford a Miller meltdown. Miller,
beyond belief. We live in a country right now, think about this, Joe Biden's America, where what keeps us from riots and looting and from madness, it's trust. It's the ability to know that the people that you are living in the community with will take care of each other and protect each other.
You're merely in the way.
Action.